Hey, subscribe to my channel. I love you.
Kaizoku.
This video is brought to you by Nengarden. To celebrate their 1-year anniversary, they're thanking fans with a huge sale. Plus, you can use code Kaizoku at checkout for an extra 5% off your order. This video is brought to you by Adakai TCG. Shop the latest in premium holographic textured custom One Piece cards. Designed for collectors, crafted to stand out. Use code Kaizoku for 15% off your next order. This video is sponsored by gumgum.gg. See Western OP11 lists and Eastern OP12 lists on gumgum.gg. Updated daily. Be the first to see decks for new leaders as they emerge. With over 1,000 deck lists per set, gumgum.gg has all the top strategies as soon as they drop. This video is sponsored by Card Market, Europe's largest online marketplace for trading card games. Alright, in this video we're going to be taking a look at the OP12 tournaments that have gone and passed so far. I believe every single one has been the post-ban format, and this is every Treasure Cup and Regional. I'm only counting those as a tournament pool to look for, and all of these tournament stats I believe I pulled from the Eggman site, so a shout out to Eggman. I'll have his website linked in the description below, but you guys probably already use his website to look up tournament stats anyway. I just wanted it to display it in a very nice and pretty way. And yeah, this page is still a work in progress. I don't think, well, I may, but at the moment don't have plans to make it live by the time this video is out. As you can see here, I put like the leader distribution, average placing, and then most played cards just as like filler. I'm probably going to keep these two, but I don't know if most played cards is anything nice, but I didn't want there to be like a blank spot here, so I just put most played cards for now. Still work in progress. I'm trying to think of like nice statistics to show, and if you guys have any suggestions, let me know in the comments below. But yeah, I just took every top placing deck list I could find from these, I believe, 9 tournaments here. So this video is just going to be me going over the data. This is going to be the first time I'm looking at this data. I did not look at it beforehand. Just kind of wanted to do this kind of like on the spot and see any insights that I could maybe surmise as I'm looking at this. So right off the bat, let's just take a look at top 8 only. So I have a filter here where if I just press 8, it's anything that's 8th or less or higher, technically. And here is the leader distribution among these 9 tournaments. So it looks like the most played leader is Rayleigh. Rayleigh made it the most into top 8s, 13 Rayleighs over the top 8s of 9 different tournaments here. I should really order this by count. Okay, that's something to work on, editor. Let myself know later. Then Bonnie, I think 10th is the next highest, or is it Zoro? Zoro is at 11th, then Bonnie 10th. And then Blue Purple Luffy still up here with 9 top 8s. 5 from Green Purple. Teach also got a surprisingly high number, 5. Kuzan 3, Eno 3, and then all of these have 1, I believe. Kogara has 2, and Lucci with 2. Yeah, so removal is not dead and gone just yet. It's just less popular, so only the diehard people are playing it looks like. But yeah, that's the leader distribution for all 9 tournaments. In this middle section here is the average placing of the leaders. I'm actually recording this after the fact. I noticed a mistake in how I calculated it, so after this section in the video it's going to show my old calculation. Just ignore it, but for the purposes of like this part, this is the correct calculation. So yeah, the average, I might have to add like another column for like the score, like some calculated score, because yeah, if I just look at the raw average, like the decks with the less number of tops is gonna like kind of have a higher skew, right? Sakazuki only has 1 top, but it got second, so its average is 2. Meanwhile, the decks with like higher tops, like Rayleigh, have more variation of rankings to pull this average down. But I want to give merit to the fact that 13 of them made it to top 8, right? So yeah, that's a work in progress. There's going to be a new column, but for now, just looking at the raw average, here is how it breaks down. So Sakazuki with an average of 2, same with Vegapunk and Yamato. So these 3 decks all got second, but only one copy of them in the top 8s. Enel up next with 3 tops, but with average placement of 3.33, followed by Green Purple, and then Rayleigh being the highest amount of tops with the highest average placement amongst all the other leaders with like 10 plus. Right, we see Green Zoro here at 4.55 on average. Bonnie even lower than that at 4.9. And then Kogara down here at 6 on average with the 2 tops that they have. Okay, so now it's going to go back to the average placements being calculated wrong. And then the most played cards are green cards, just because Zoro and Bonnie together add up to 21 number of tops here. So of course, the cards in that deck are going to be the most represented. That's why I'm kind of thinking of changing this section here. But yeah, then Rayleigh after that. This is just purely Rayleigh. No other red decks share a lot of these cards. And Gungam Giant, also a very highly used card in every purple deck. So yeah, that's that. What else do we want to look at? Let's take a look at all the first place decks. So a filter by 1. So here are all the leaders that won their respective tournaments. 3 Bonnies, 1 Enel, 1 Rayleigh, 1 Zoro, 1 Blue Purple Luffy, 1 Kuzan, and 1 Shanks. So 3 Bonnie is pretty crazy. Let's see which regions that the Bonnie won. So Latin America, Chile, Treasure Cup, Auckland Regionals, and then Toronto Regionals is where they got first place. Let's just take a look at all 3 of the Bonnie lists. So if you click the deck list here, it'll take you to the deck builder. And then we'll see if there are any differences between each person's list. So I already forgot which order I opened them in, but okay, so this is the first Bonnie list. 2 ACOS kids and 3 Doflamingos, 3 Hodies. So not 4 Hodies. Running the Smoker still. Let's see what the next Bonnie list is running. So this one's running no Smoker and no ACOS. No, it's still 2 ACOS kids, 4 Hodies instead, and then 2 Shanks was the other deck running Shanks. Nope. So this is 3 Doflamingo, no Shanks. This one is 3 Doflamingo, 2 Shanks. Only 3 Mihawk. So yeah, some variation in the Bonnie builds here. But it seems like the staples, Carrot, Cavendish, and then Uruj has made it back into the deck as a staple now too. And then the third Bonnie list, is it any different? This one looks closer to the first list, right? 3 Shanks. Oh, sorry, the second list. Huh. Yeah, this is almost identical to the second list here. It runs some of the Bedge chump blockers instead. So yeah, that's the trend for Bonnie. It's like the core package plus some tech cards. Your top end seems to be like the most malleable spots that you can decide what to run. Let's see which one's the most expensive though. This one's 333, 337, 338. So the last list is the cheapest, but they all need 4 of this Cavendish, it looks like. Let's take a look at the first place Enel list, and then the Rayleigh, and then the Zoro, and then Blue Purple, Kuzan, and Shanks. Oh, Shanks. Right, I said that earlier. Why am I surprised now? Okay, let's take a look at the first place Enel list here. $313. This looks very similar to the Enel list that we saw in our week 3 meta analysis. So I'm guessing they must have posted their list online and everyone must have net decked it, which made it show up really high in the stats on the sim. But yeah, the Arc Max, some people were telling me this is for the Rayleigh matchup. I get that, but I also already thought that Enel was already good into Rayleigh. So this is kind of like a win more card against Rayleigh, I feel like. I don't know. Maybe Rayleigh was actually a closer matchup than I thought. And then just this Arc Maxim just takes it over the edge, like completely dominates that matchup. For 1 Dawn, you kill like half their board most of the time. But yeah, no Yamatos anymore, no 10 cost Ace, just the Enel is enough for heal, plus the Kuma, it looks like. The Rayleigh list, anything spicy here? So it does run the OP01 Luffy. I wonder if the alt art for this has gone up in price because of that. I have a few, so I might consider selling them. 2 Mo Pistols only, 1 Radical Beam. I see some people used to run the Straw Hat Searcher in this deck, but this person does not. Only 3 Armament, but 4 of the other Haki, and then 3 of the Unblockable. They run full 8 Searchers here. And then for Rush, it's 2 Zoro, 2 Kid and Killer, which is what I've been seeing a lot recently. Yeah, pretty standard, except the O1. The O1 Luffy is something pretty interesting. They're running the Sanji over the Brook, or there's no Brooks at all, the 2K counter Brook. Yeah, I like it. And 122 for this, not too shabby. The Zoro list here looks kind of standard, right? No, well, only 2 of the Koshiro, so that's lower than normal. Only 10 2K, so that's 2 less than what I usually run. Running the Mihawk, this Mihawk, I guess, in this particular deck is more synergistic because he has 6 4-drops he can play here, right? He has Gyukimaru, which is able to rest your opponent's character when you have 3 Dawn attached to your leader. And then the Zoro is immune to Slash, so it's really great into the Mirror, good into Rayleigh. And then the rest of the deck is pretty standard, right? Cavendish, Tashigi, Mihawk. One's 2 Waterfall. I've been running without it, but maybe it's still good actually. But I don't know. I guess it's your preference. And then 2 Deadman's Game and 3 Luna. I wonder what specific matchup this is for. It could be for Rayleigh, right? Because Zoro does have a losing matchup into Rayleigh, and this would help like keep their entire board rested for you to potentially try to burn cards out of their hand and then go for game the next turn. So I like that. That's pretty cool. 3 of these. Even on trigger too, it saves your ass, right? You can rest one of the Blue Purple Luffy's 9Ks before you can attack. Okay, so that's Zoro with the Mihawk 2K counter. What was usually run in this spot instead? So it's Koshiro, was it Izo? Or I guess like I ran X-Trick and stuff, right? But Mihawk makes sense if you're running a lot of the 4-drops. And then the Blue Purple Luffy's list, anything spicy? So 1 Pudding, ooh, 1 Rosinante, that's pretty spicy. This just gives you active Dawn to use, and then in the early game, if you don't need God Thread, you could always chuck it with Rosinante, right? Or you only ever need to God Thread like once to hit your Dawn threshold. In terms of removal, only 1 Red Rock and 1 Tiger. Then for late game, yeah, it's this Mihawk combo with Sanji. Only 2 of the Snake Man, but in favor of 2 more slots, he runs the Rush Luffy. So that's pretty cool. Everything else is pretty standard. Only 8 2Ks, that's really low. But it looks like, I guess with the Rosanante providing you 2 Dawn, and if your opponent can't get rid of it, you always are pretty safe, right? You always have Dawn up for at least like a Thunder Bagua if you have it in hand. So yeah, that's pretty cool. Blue Purple Luffy still in the meta. How expensive is the deck? 230. Cheaper than before, for sure. Okay, taking a look at the Kuzan deck, which I assume is going to be, yeah, a sub $50 deck. But got first, so probably the cheapest winning deck of the lot here. Surprisingly, no pudding. There's no pudding in this deck, so he doesn't really need it. 1 Slave Arrow, 2 Aramaki, 4 Borsas. I think this is like a thing now. I was a proponent of the Cavendish, but yeah, now I see the merit of Borsalino instead, just for defense, just to survive. Because the Cavendish is kind of a brick, even though he can draw you cards. Only 3 of the Kuzan though, that's really interesting. I thought this was one of the better cards in the deck, but it looks like 3 is enough. Especially because you have like the Tashigi Searcher and then the Sengoku Draw, I guess. And then Gion, I don't know if it's specifically to tech anything. Could be tech against like Blue Purple Luffy. Nami is dead from the meta, so this is not a Nami counter. I guess this is really good into Rayleigh too, right? Because all their hockey technically counts as an event. Yeah, actually this is a super heavy Rayleigh counter, now that I think about it. I didn't even consider it. Hey, Gion, okay? And then 2 Grab Blades for removal. No red rocks. Yeah, glad to see Kuzan doing well. And then lastly, we have a Shanks deck that I got first. This guy's like a phoenix risen from the dead. Now it's a top meta deck again. This particular version, actually I've seen this one floating around. I've been playing against it on the sim. I guess people net decked it or something. 2 red force is the reason why I can recognize it. People are running the stage again because this person got first. That gives minus 1k to something. This is a pretty heavy removal package in the Shanks. You have the Red Hawk combined with the blocker Shanks here, plus your leader ability to pop a 7k actually with the Red Hawk. 3 Marco, a lot of like not fully 4 of committed copies of cards, right? 3 Shanks, 3 Marco, 3 Seven Beards. And then for the top end, it's 2 of the different Shankses here, the Rush and then the KO one. Anything else interesting? No, this is a pretty solid Shanks deck. I think people are more shying towards removal. They're not running the 9 cost Shanks anymore to tank up, and that makes sense because a lot of the like KO evasion in the meta is like cost based, right? Like koala cards and stuff like that give themselves plus cost, but against power, a lot of decks don't have ways to mitigate that. And then on top of that, if your opponent has a rested character, like giving it power down lets you attack into it, even if you don't have like a removal on play effect. You can at least always attack into something to kill it. Okay, so those were all the first place decks here. What if I take a look at second place? Anything interesting in the second place? So yeah, we'll look at the Sakazuki. Who else? Green, purple. Oh, there's a Yamato and Vegapunk. Let's take a look at these 3. These are really interesting, right? Which tournaments did they top in? So Sakazuki got second at Chile. Vegapunk got second at Bologna. Yamato at Auckland. And that was it, right? Let's take a look at Green, purple too at TAC Games. It's online, so I don't know where they are. Okay, let's take a look at the Sakazuki first. So yeah, Sakazuki got second, almost first. I do think it's a strong deck. It's just that people or somebody, there needs to be like a Sakazuki genius who takes this deck to new heights, and it looks like this person might be the one to do it. Or maybe they just got lucky matchups, but like we've seen, it's possible to do it. It's not replicable as easily because we don't see like a bunch of Sakazuki tops. But that's just due to the like lower play rate and also the difficulty of the deck, I would have to assume. Right? There's people who've been like practicing a leader since like Japan's OP12 meta just to get it ready for OP12 in English, but since Sakazuki suddenly got unbanned, they didn't have enough time to put hours into it, and no one's gonna like switch plans. For at least people who are like super competitive aren't gonna just drop everything and then pick up a new leader just like that. So I think Sakazuki has that going against him, but yeah, we still see some decent results here. A second place is not too shabby at all. Anything spicy in this deck list though? So Jozu is like your benefit in running blue over Lucci. 1 Sengoku, 2 Jack, 2 10 Kuzan. Yeah, I don't think you need 4 of this. 2 Ama, 3 Helmblaze, and then 2 of the stage, 1 Black Vortex, 2. But yeah, it looks like only 1 Lucci. So it mainly uses like the jacks and then the events to remove your opponent's board. It looks like that's interesting. I wonder how reliable the Rebecca Hina Lucci combo is with just 1 Lucci. He does have 1 Mancherry though. But yeah, this deck is all about knowing what to discard and when to discard it. So this person must have figured out the play pattern to do well with this deck. The Vegapunk deck here, this one looks okay. It looks exactly like the one that we saw in our week 3 deck meta analysis. So I guess yeah, everyone just net decked it because it did really well. So we went over that in that video, so you can check it out there. This Vegapunk is a pretty penny now. 32 bucks for a full playset here. But $73 in total, so not too expensive at all. Looking at the Yamato list, so this is $272 just because the Kumas are expensive. Let's see what they're running though. It looks like the starter deck package, right? You're running the Izo, the Yamato from starter deck, the Ashura Doji 2. Mihawk can cheat out either Kikunojo or Kinemon or Hawkins, so that floods the board. 3 healed Momonosuke's and 2 rush ones. And yeah, this 4 Kuma I guess is what helps keep this deck healthy enough to keep aggroing. And 4 Hody and 2 Dead Man's Game. So it's a really like balls to the wall kind of deck. We don't see the Ipponmatsu, so they cut that out. But who knows if they're going to run that Otama from PRB02 that kind of does the same thing. But is searchable. Oh, so is Ipponmatsu, right? Where is he at? Where is he at? He's yellow, right? Tonoyasu? Oh, Tonoyasu, not Ipponmatsu. My mistake. Yeah, this guy gives plus 3k for 2, and then there's like a new Otama that does the same thing. Oh, it's a 2k counter, so it's a little better in that regard. But yeah, glad to see Yamato do well. Maybe I should try this deck out and relearn Yamato. I want Yamato to be good, but moving on to the next one, we have Green Purple Luffy. This deck costs $253. Most of it is this Secret Luffy from EB02. Anything spicy in this deck? No, nothing. Oh, I guess the Judgment of Hell is spicy. This is anti-Zoro attack. It is pretty expensive though to die -1 for this, especially in a deck that you die -1 so much already. And then 2 of the EB020 Zoro to control, I guess, Rayleigh's board early on, right? Because Rayleigh could ping at you pretty easily after that, so it's good to have some control. But yeah, this looks like same Green Purple Luffy as always. Okay, so this is a 20-minute video of me talking. Anything else I should want to look at? Let's just take a look at top 8, see if there's any interesting deck lists, because that's all I can really do in this kind of video until I have more stats to show and think of more stats. We can look at by tournament, so let's look at the Chile Treasure Cup. Pretty even spread of leaders. Oh no, 3 of it's like Rayleigh, and then the rest are 1-ofs. We can look at Blackbeard. So take a look at this Blackbeard. How about at the Chile regionals? There was where the Sakazuki topped. Everything else is pretty much the same leaders we would expect. How about at Bologna? The Vegapunk there. Oh, let's look at Kagura and Lucci. Dang, some crazy stuff happening in Bologna. Bologna. Okay, Carta Magica, nothing special. Almost like a 25-25-25 spread here. And then let's take a look at Auckland. That's where the Yamato was. We saw Kuzan. Okay, nothing special here. Toronto. There's a Lucci at Toronto too. Okay, let's take a look at a second Lucci list. Why not? I'm not biased. Okay, Kissimmee. This is in Florida. Oh, Purple Luffy. We gotta take a look at Purple Luffy. Of course, of course. Okay, so what else? What else? Madrid. We looked at Enel, right? Oh, this is Sanji. Let's take a look at Sanji. And then the Tech Games Online has nothing special. Okay, so we'll take a look at these 6 decks and then we'll wrap up the video. So Blackbeard. Top 8 Blackbeard here. Runs nothing crazy out of the ordinary, I don't think. I'm not too well versed in Blackbeard, but 3 of the Shiryu. This is good into Rayleigh. And then 1 of the Blocker Kuzan. Only 3 of the 10-beard, so that makes me think this is more of like a removal focused deck, right? You're playing these Kuzans to bring out your Van Augers and then your Doc Q to KO stuff with the 7 Teach. Yeah, even 3 Tempest Kick. So I think people are shifting to more of like a removal based Blackbeard deck. It was always kind of removal based in the beginning, but this is like heavily removal based now. And then 2 Black Vortex to counter Zoro. Only 3 of the My Era Begins. And only 3 Jesus Burgess. So yeah, people used to just rely on Jesus Burgess and 10 Beards to chain late game at your opponent, but this one is more like mid game and low to the ground focused, it looks like. Cheap deck too, $58. Okay, 1 of the Lucci lists here. This looks like the one we saw in the meta analysis for week 3, so I guess people must have net decked it, because yeah, it runs to 2 Cobras and then the 2 Utas, 2 Black Vortex, still 3 of the 10 Kuzan, and 1 Hina, but 4 Lucci. But yeah, we talked about Spandine and we were hoping that Kaku made it back in the deck, but looks like it doesn't. Let's take a look at the other Lucci list real quick. This one is interesting. There's a Gizmonda. Oh, it's just a blocker. Maybe not that super interesting. No Kaku though. What's this? Iron Body. Up to 1 of your leaders or characters gains plus 4k power, and then if you have 10 or more cards in your trash, oh, okay, so it counters for 6k for 2. That's spicy. So this and then the Gizmonda are kind of different from every other Lucci list. Also runs 1 of the 9 Kaido. I wonder what this specifically counters, right? It kills an 8 drop. I guess Mihawk? It kills Mihawk like right off the bat. Then we'll take a look at the Kagura list. So this one is 149 because of the Kumas. It's all the Kuma actually. For $10 more, you can get the rest of the deck. What they run in 2 of the non-counter wiper. That's what I've been seeing recently. 2 Althors, only 2 of the Earth Won't Lose, and then 2 Red Hawks. Everything else is pretty standard. Yeah, I see people cut in the vanilla Kagura to 3 as well. And then they're not running the event searcher. Was it Bell or something? Bell? The bell will always ring for you? Yeah. I don't run this card in my deck either. A lot of people playing Kagura are like, why don't you run it? It's like the best card in the deck. Like, no, it's not. You don't really need it. I feel like I almost never have the Dawn Despair when I'm always wanting to like pressure your opponent, right? Because that's what you're good at. In the late game, I guess you could draw with this, but then you have so many ways to play like upper yard with the wipers, right? And then even this Kagura draws you cards, so I almost never feel like I need this guy, need this event, personally. And then the purple Luffy list, good to see this guy again. Oh, what the heck? So I recently did a purple Luffy video on my channel because I wanted to brew him again. This list is almost the same. Wait, let me take a look at the list I ran in my video. Right, this is the list I have in my video here. What's different? It looks almost the same. Oh, okay, so... Oh, it's just the Sanji and the 9 Luffy. Whoa, that's scary. So yeah, they run one more Sanji than I do. But it looks like they're running the Luffy Taro package too. Taro into Sangoro or Zoro. And then 4-3 of the Big Mom parts. And yeah, I just like the 9 Luffy, so I ran one more of it. What a coincidence. That's kind of scary. But I guess there's not too many card options in this deck anyway. But yeah, just glad to see Purple Luffy top. Gives me some hope for the deck that he's not like washed up. And then Sanji deck here, $47. Runs one of the Rum Luffy. 2 of the Blocker Choppers is interesting. Oh, 2 Kamazo too. I guess you do minus Dawn a lot, but you don't have cost reduction. So he only ever pops like a blocker or a lot of Rayleigh's bodies. Which I guess is enough, right? If Rayleigh is one of your weak matchups, this Kamazo will help. That's some pretty interesting tech. 3 Jozu too. I think a lot of early Sanji lists focused like only on the Sanji and then the Reiju as like the only characters in the deck. But it looks like people are like spreading it out some more, right? Some Jozu for removal. I really wonder what this Luffy is for. Just to make your leader a 7k base? Is that worth it? But yeah, technically it's only minus 1 Dawn because you could always get it back with your leader ability when you swing. And then in terms of events, which is like the main part of the deck, so it's 4 of this Searcher one, 4 Concaster, 4 Searcher, 2 Jet Culverin, 4 Biff Burst, 1 Brushette, 2 Red Rocks, and then 2 Gum Gum Rain. Okay, oh, only 5 2k counters too. Yeah, really, really interesting list here. Only 3 Kaya. 3 Kaya and 2 Kamazo, the only 2ks in the deck. Interesting. But yeah, this one topped 8, so yeah, it must be doing something right here. Just depending on your events to counter, I guess, to save yourself. How many counter events are there? So there's Gum Gum Giant and then Concaster and then Gum Gum Rain. That's it, right? That's enough? I guess it must be. Because you don't ever have to worry about removal with the Sanji, because you could always return it on to keep him on board. But yeah, I guess that's all the deck list I have to show you. I showed you a lot, actually. One interesting thing I wanted to look at would be whether tournament number of tops correlates to how the sim rankings end up shaking up. Because yeah, I always get people who are saying like, oh, you're just playing on the sim, those aren't real stats, they don't really translate to tournament results. So let's put that to the test, right? So yeah, I sorted it by number of tops. Let's do top 8, just so that not every tournament has a top 32, right? Some only have top 8s. I think they all at least have a top 8. So looking at the number of tops, we have Rayleigh, Zoro, Bonnie, Blue Purple Luffy, Teach, Green Purple Luffy, Shanks, and then Enel. Is that 10? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Kuzan and then Kalgara. So let's take a look at the rankings for the past week for sim games. And then here is the top 10 for the last week of private games on the sim. So we have Bonnie, Blue Purple Luffy, Rayleigh, Enel, Zoro, Green Purple, Shanks, Kuzan, and Yellow Kid, and Teach, and then Kalgara. Wait a second, this looks really familiar, hey? It's almost as if sim performance kind of correlates to IRL performance, right? This top 10 is nearly the same. Is there anything different actually? I believe it's exact same, right? These top 10 leaders are all the same, not particularly in the same order. There's some difference. Oh no, Kalgara is 11th. So what takes Kalgara's place? Oh, there's no Yellow Kids. Okay, so yeah, there's no Yellow Kid tops. That's the only difference, is no Piss Kid. Everything else in the top 10 in terms of top 8 placing in tournaments seems to match the same top 10 on the leader rankings. And of course, it's going to deviate up and down every now and then just due to the play rate of some of these decks. But yeah, that kind of makes me feel pretty confident when I'm looking at sim stats to get a good gauge on the tournament kind of metagame here. It's not too different at all, right? You could argue that like Rayleigh is a little more consistent in topping compared to how he is like 3rd on the sim stats, but I think that's pretty negligible, right? I say if you're playing a top 10 leader here, your chances of topping seem pretty high, and it seems to actually be the case. This makes these stats a lot more valuable, eh? But yeah, let me know what you guys thought of this tournament stats page and what I can add to it before I release it live. For now, I'm just going to keep tinkering with it, but I just wanted to use it to see some tournament results already. And that's going to be it for this video. Let me know, again, feedback, and then subscribe to my channel if you're not already subscribed. And I guess I'll catch you guys in the next one. Bye! Oh.
Car D Kaizoku.